Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 398, and today we're doing battle with Trundle VI. And so we're bringing out the Forge package again as we approach Runeterra Open Eternal version part 2, whatever we're calling the second Runeterra Open in the Eternal format. I'm really excited and happy to play this Forge package, and I'm looking to expand on it and probably just play it across all three decks. And so we played Jax Ornn a couple of videos ago. Fantastic deck, loved it. In the previous video, we played the Demacia Forge deck with Vayne and Jarvan and the cultist units with Tough and the Scout one. Very fun and interesting things there. And that brings me back into this space of, well, if we're wanting to play three different Forge decks, are there enough champions to really support it? And what do we look to fill in that kind of like last piece of the puzzle? And that brings us up to this very easy place of Concurrent Timelines, right? Concurrent Timelines is still a fantastically powerful card, but what if we move out of the mindset of saying, okay, I'm playing a Concurrent Timelines deck, I have to do a bunch of stuff to come out and try and find the Concurrent Timeline, so I'm playing Station Archivists, I'm playing the 4-cost guy that predicts, we have a bunch of cycle, just as a bunch of ways to really dig for that timelines. But what if we instead say, hey, I'm going to be a Forge deck, and as kind of a side quest, a little mini adventure we can go on if it turns up, we have the Concurrent Timelines in here. And so the Concurrent Timelines, of course, plays fantastically with all of the improvised units. The improvised unit comes down, it has shitty stats, and then you swap it into a good unit, and then lo and behold, it has super stats because it picks up that new equipment on it. And so if we're already playing improvise, if we're already designing our deck towards the Forge mechanic, we can just say, hey, we're a Forge deck that happens to have Concurrent Timelines in it, and I think that that's going to get us in kind of a happy place. And so again, this deck here, really heavily into the Forge package with the Weaponsmith's Apprentice, the Favored Artisan. We have 8 different improvised units, and then the Hearthblood Mender up at the top end to round out the Forge package. Not playing the AoE spell Bellows Breath because we do have Buried in Ice in here. I don't feel like it's going to be ultra necessary to pick up that last Forge component, but I do like having access to Buried in the Ice. But the kind of space that we're looking towards at the end game with this deck is this big pile of reach that we have. And so there's 2 big combos running with our champions here in the end game. There's the classic, the standard, Trundle with Concurrent Timelines. This is another reason I'm more than okay just to have timelines kind of on the side. If we don't play timelines until turn 8 and then we play it with an Ice Pillar, then, fine, that's not a terrible deal. But we have the classic Trundle Timelines, but we have lots of combos with Vi. And so Vi loves to either be given Scout or Overwhelm from the Improvise package. That's all well and good. But we do have the wild card out here, right? We're playing 1 copy of Sumpworks Map. Just another fantastic way to blast into the opponent's face for like 10 damage. And so if we do find ourselves in a spot to where the improvise didn't land quite how we wanted, we have like a +6, +5 coming off of a fearsome equipment or something, then we have that potential to slam in for 10 damage with the Sumpworks map to give us a nice final piece of cohesion across the remainder of the deck. The last thing to kind of call out, we do have a small burn package in here with the 2 copies of Mystic Shot, 2 copies of Get Excited, and 2 copies of Blowback. I didn't want to go like super all in on the burn package in this. I don't think burn is fantastic in this current format since there's so many Hearthblood Menders and Innovative Blacksmiths running around. Getting the extra points of damage from that burn, well, nice. It's not something that I heavily want to focus on, and we're not playing a ton of card generation, right? One of the standard strategies that you see coming out of the Concurrent Timelines deck is you play Fan Club Presidents, which generates a card. You play the Boom Baboons, that generates a card. You're looking to just play all cards all throughout the curve that put something into your hand, and then you're kind of able to freely discard it later. We do have the Improvise cards generating stuff, but the Improvise equipment tend to stay on the board, so I didn't want to go overboard with the discard package, but we are still carrying a bit of that burn package just in case we need to interact with the board, or in the event that we actually do get to send the 5 or 6 damage to the face and close out the game without combat. And so that's the deck. That's what we're doing battle with today. Let's head on in, see if we feel pretty good about this one, see if we want to bring this one to the old open on Saturday. It's exciting stuff. From the place we were at in the previous Open to where we're at now, I didn't really envision us going on such a wild journey so fast. But just playing so much Jax Ornn, I've really fallen in love with this Forge stuff. It's the thing that's kind of interesting to me in terms of the Forge units is I kind of look at our friend like Weaponsmith's Apprentice. Like, this is really just a 2/3 for 1 mana. That's a very good deal. And then if you look at the Favorite Artisan, it's a 3/4 for 3 mana, which isn't the most spectacular of deals, but it's still better than you typically get. And, you know, you get to spread those stats out across the course of the game. You get to use them in other places. And so it's very powerful, very interesting that our friends Weaponsmith's Apprentice and co. Don't get too much respect. But back to the action here. We did start with the concurrent timeline, so we're going to play a little slow and pop that off. I don't want to be dropping the Zaunite Urchin immediately on turn 1. It's not going to get too much effectiveness into the face of this Weaponsmith's Apprentice. But, hey, you know, we started with the timelines. Why not go for it, right? Why not go for it? All right, though. Powerful draw from opponent. Getting that big Jax start. Interesting space in that if we want to actually drop a blowback onto him, I think like we can probably let it go here. But it's something we'll be looking to do a couple of turns from now. If we can incorporate, say, the Boom Baboon into our lineup out here as a means to then have better discardy kind of stuff. So with this, I'm going to take the Hothead. It is nice seeing that giant mountain of stats turn up with the old Reckless Trifarian, but I don't think that's going to quite be on the menu today. All right, so are we still on this same plan? I'm okay with dropping the blowback onto Jax. I think we're good. So let's add in this Boom Baboon. See if it turns into anything interesting. Kelp Maidens is fine. It'll actually let us get an attack in with it as well this round. So do we want to just start like blowing through the mana? Opponent only has 1 mana at this point, and so I'm kind of leaning towards playing a Favored Artisan and then just dropping the Forge onto our Hothead. Or would we rather Prank? Ooh, I think I'm actually getting a bit of a preference for the Prank here. It would be good to know if opponent has a Troll Chant in hand. So what do we got? A Catch and an Entrancing Lure. Good to know. You want to drop that Catch on old Jax and protect him from the blowback. So we'll put the bonus points onto the Catch. You know, ideally for opponent here, he's probably wanting to make an Entrancing Lure play onto the Jax, and so if he wants to play a unit as well, he probably can't play a unit and the Lure and the Catch, and that's going to open us up to being able to do the blowback. And so we'll see how they go. He has a very powerful board as it is, and so I wouldn't be super surprised if he just didn't go for it. That is a little bit more surprising to me, though. Like, I understand that he's getting the Jax flip, but just giving up on his units out here. Let's see if he actually wants to catch out to the left now, and then we'll get that chance to blow back onto Jax later. Nope. But we can still look to use the Boom Baboon, not the Boom Baboon, the Flame Chompers to hook in Jax next turn. So we might have a little bit of something there. So I'm going to look to get the Flame Chompers on board, and then we'll fix it next turn. But let's go ahead and add the Combat Hook in for right now. We'll have mana to do all that stuff next round. Ooh, an Ancient Crocolith. Who's ready to have some fun out here? Who's ready to have some fun? And a Buried in Ice. Interesting pickup. Be very strong next turn, and so, or 2 turns from now. And so if he's not going to be opening on us and we get that opportunity to Buried in Ice, I like it. I like it. But let's see. I assumed our Fix'em 5000 had like 1,000 stats on it already. We don't. We haven't been forging too hard this round, and so it doesn't quite exist. Now, forge an ally and deal 1. Okay, it does it in the wrong order, so we can't blow back onto Jax and then have him die to his own forge. As sweet as that would be. So I think we're stuck just kind of passing here. He has already played as one entrancing lure, and I guess at the end of the day, I'm just worried about him making an open attack next turn. And the problem being is, say we attack with the Crocolith, he blocks with the Raider just to put the damages down, then this Jax attack is pretty scary, and so let's just pass. Probably shouldn't. That Boom Baboon plan didn't fall out exactly how I wanted, and now we get to boom, though. Get that nonsense out of here. Nonsense eliminated. Alright, by no means a complete game ender, though. It does give us an opportunity to come out and get on board, but it shouldn't be considered the end of the day for opponent here. So let's do this. We need to get kind of a defensive posture going here. So let's just open attack with the Crocolith while we can't do anything. Then I'm going to look to drop the Hearthblood Mender and the Innovative Blacksmith. Just try and be in a spot to where... oh shit, he had a Bone Club in hand. We blew up a lot of his equipment, but not that one. So it's like, I think if we get back to our next turn and we can add Trundle, we can drop the Pillar and be okay. I just really want to get a board full of blockers for this next round, and so it's a little unfortunate we can't actually get the Weaponsmith's Apprentice on board if we drop the Mender and the Blacksmith. Alright. Mender it is. Gonna give me a good blocker out here. If I would gain Ephemeral, grant me 1/1 instead. I'm tempted, I'm curious. I don't think that's gonna be the play for the day, but I want a little piece of that. Alright, let's pick up the Overwhelm equipment. I'm not entirely certain. I don't think we're just dead next turn, but I'm looking towards the Overwhelm equipment since we can then put it on the Crocolith and maybe deal a point of damage. We did. The Buried in Ice blows up the equipment, and so Jax... I thought he lost his Light of Acacia. Why does he have... Oh, he gets a fresh one when he just comes back on board. Is that what happened? Because the other Ornn lost his equipment.
Weapon roulette.
Oh my gosh, there's going to be another Bone Club. Oh, it's an Overwhelm. Are we dead? This says -10, and so okay in that sense. Now, do we want to like burst out a unit with the parts made whole? I don't think so. There's just usually not a lot of combat tricks coming out of this deck, so I think we'll be safe enough this round. Just stopping right here. And then we'll start to make the magic happen. As we'll get Trundle down this turn. We'll use Trundle to get the Ice Pillar. We'll play Ice Pillar next turn. We have this Fish-O-Whack to slap onto the Ancient Crocolith. A lot of things we can try and pull off here. All right, so Combat Cook can come in. We'll just pick up the Pan of Pain. We're not going to strike through any of this stuff. But if he has another AoE Forge card, I'd like our unit to survive. So welcome to the board, the Fangs. I'm glad I don't have to live in a world to where the Fangs is seeing a lot of play in Constructed. That sounds miserable to me. People love it though. People want to get out there and have fun with the fangs. So what do we got out of these? The Terror of the Tides is kind of strong. Again, our fearsomes aren't really going to be doing anything. I guess there is a world to where if we attack with the Terror of the Tides, it's just, I guess at the end of the day, it's between it and Spectral Matron, and it does a lot more work than the Spectral Matron, right? With the minus attack thing at the cost of just 1 health. Just gotta get in for a couple of points of damage, right? We got this blowback in hand ready to go. I believe in it. I believe in it. So how much mana do we need to play all this stuff, right? We have a couple of things we could do. Kind of scary seeing opponent just not play cards here. I don't think they're going to be playing Buried in Ice. We don't have to worry about it. And then we can burst off a Parts Made Whole. Like, I really want to be playing Parts Made Whole this turn. So we can try and draw more burn. I think we just gotta squeeze in a couple of more points. So let's load up the Crocolith. Opponent's got another unit. So again, we should be able to punch in 3 with the Parts Made Whole. Let's give our other bonus to Trundle. He's got Overwhelm. And then we're gonna come in. We're gonna strike while the iron is hot. Bone Club. I think that's okay. it's hard to tell at this point. I'm curious if we shouldn't have saved the blowback to try and throw on a blocker for our overwhelms. As it stands, we're only getting 1 point of damage in with this combat.
Spear blade or palm.
All right. Well, let's see where that gets us, am I right? Super close, I'm sure. Super close. He does have the one good block with Ornn, right? But he's got to be throwing Ornn and throwing Jax in front of our big overwhelms. And now we just gotta get it down into burn range. I don't know, man. 10 minus 8 is 2. I did that mathematic. He can go up to 3 off of the Innovative Blacksmith, and then we can get the kill with the blowback. But that thing I was trying to say with the blowback, right, is say he makes this block with Jax onto Trundle. If we deal the 3 damage to Jax, he's going to take an additional 3 points of overwhelm damage. So it's essentially doing 6 damage off of the blowback instead of just doing 3. And we missed out on that a little bit with the way we sequenced all of our spells. I'm sure someone with a little bit more pedigree of skill may have been able to roll through and spend that mana a little better. But that was the plan. That was the plan. We just dead now? Definitely gonna cycle something. Let's get rid of Vi. Give me that burn. Not yet. Maybe next turn. Maybe next turn. This game's going long and hard. I think the thing that'll be big here is... Oh no, if Ornn gets the Forge. Fuck. I was gonna say, we have the blowback onto Ornn so that he dies and we don't have to take the overwhelm from him. Like, I think we can survive the rest of this overwhelm, but... probably not now. Not even close. Not even close. Dang. GG. That's tough. We had that critical turn there. I feel like maybe we could have done a little more and gotten through that one. But nonetheless, victory for opponent. GG. On to the next one. All right. Next battle. What do we got? Norra Braum. Haven't played these friends in a long time. Gotta come out here and get your, get your spirits unleashed somewhere. And so, at any rate, reasonable enough start with a 2-drop forge unit into a forge. And so, or a two cost forge generator into an improvised unit, I guess is a more proper way to say it, but reasonable curve across the board. See if we can't interact with this deck just a little bit. I would suspect that Norra Braum is going to have issues with Vi. I guess there's a chance that it plays something like, what do you call it, the mini-morph? But they shouldn't have too many tools that it takes to actually get a Vi off of the board. All right, let's kick off our improvise. With the junk construct on board, I think we want to go for the Fix'em 5000, just to take the quick attack, ensure that we can attack with everybody here and not have this thing kill any of our units back. Works out even more with the sentry coming on board. Oh, wait, there is an argument to go ahead and drop the forge so that our castaway doesn't die to a pokey stick, but didn't take it. I don't think we'll regret it if he comes in with a pokey stick, but as he was sitting there thinking for like half an hour, I was like, we should have played that forge. But it's okay. It's okay. We made it that far. Here it comes, right? There's the pokey stick. It does give us an opportunity to say put down the boom baboon, put down a flame chompers, and then hook the Fix'em 5000 onto the flame chompers, and so that's not terrible. We'll see opponent randoed into the Jaw Hunters, which is a pain in the ass. So let's just stop for a second, see if he wants to take his attacks. If he doesn't, it's okay. I assume now that he's played Norra, he's most certainly at least attacking with her. And now we can just push forward with this Flame Chomper's play. Kind of sucks that we don't have a discard for it. Spending the full 2 mana is kind of a feels bad, but it's okay. And we can party with Vi. Good looking set of attacks here. If opponent has like a Troll Chant, they'll have the opportunity to shut down this Flame Chompers, but as it stands, I'm looking to take this quick attack challenge from the Flame Chompers into the Jaw Hunters, the Vi, into the Norra. We'll attack with everybody else. I don't care if we lose any of these units, and so if they have to invest in a Troll Chant to keep this Jaw Hunters around, okay. I've deemed it just fine. And so we'll see how that plays out. 3 sisters. Okay. That's still a pretty good combat for us. All it does is ensure that that Vi doesn't kill Norra. So I was worried. Like I saw it come in, I was like, oh fuck, he's gonna do the +3/+4 into the Vi, but not the case. You got Team Elusive hitting the board from the opponent. Sure. So let's just keep building up, right? Let's use this Hearthblood Mender. We'll boost our Flame Chomping equipment. We got 2 really good looking challenges right now. The question we have here is, do we want to keep investing in this board? Because we'd like Vi to flip. Now, if we get just like into combat, we can play the Vault Breaker and try and do it that way, but I feel pretty good about just adding some units to the board. And so I'm going to add in the Favored Artisan. We're going to add in the Innovative Blacksmith. See where that gets us at the end of the day. Got us buried in the ice. It's not that big of a deal unless he has a way to blow up the landmarks, which certainly is possible next turn if he's going to play that 8 mana thing. I don't know if these are cards people play anymore. I don't know. It's just I've gotten kind of used to playing at the top end of the ladder and the kind of on meta decks, and now as we're climbing up through gold, it's a little bit different seeing some of this stuff turn up. But I think we'll be okay either way. If he comes in and blows up all of the landmarks, we still have Vi on the board, and oof, does not have the thing. Very descriptive content you're getting here. He does not have the thing. Look out. He did not have the Ithid Stairs. There we go. I can remember the name of the cards on occasion. Beast below comes in. We're not at risk of dying here. It's going to suck a little, right? He's going to flame chomp the Vi out of combat. We'll look to get excited another unit, but we're only taking 9, fall to 11. That's okay. I guess we could have overwritten one of these bad units. That's probably what we should have done. All right, we got Flame Chompers that no longer has an equipment. Vi. Check these out. Boom Baboon, Hearth Blood Mender, Favored Artisan. And so the Favored Artisan will come back onto board and give us a unit. I think we want to overwrite just the Flame Chompers. It's not going to have a... It's not going to have a... like a combat-worthy hook. We're not looking to pull any of these units out of combat in particular, and we do have 2 Vi's on board already, so I think it's okay. Look at that 17 attack Vi. That's what life's all about right there. That's what life's about right there. So do we ever want to just open? He's going to end up playing more units, and so how does this even play out? We attack, we do 10 with Vi. You'd say he blocks Trundle and then takes another 8. So we're going to be short of lethal. I don't think we're going to get lethal this turn anyways, though. Like, we can start off with a Parts Made Whole and just see what happens. But I don't think it's likely going to get us there. All right, Boom Baboon, you're gone. Timelines and Mender. All right.
Hit 'em where it hurts. Trouble coming at ya.
Trouble coming at you. So yeah, we're not going to get the lethal. We're close. We're almost there.
I can do this.
That burn spell pops up, then we should be able to end the game. Sure. Such meaty Vi's. It's wild. He does the thing, sure. the best way to describe what just happened. He did the thing. Is it relevant? Eh. Maybe. I'm here to deliver that top-notch commentary, so look out. Look out. But I'll hang on to the 3 bank. We'll play the pillar. I didn't want to play the blacksmith that turn because I might want to use it for the life gain mode, and so there are still ways that we can lose this game. There's random bullshit like a Battle Fury onto an elusive. That would be a way to kind of take us down, but under normal circumstances, I don't think anything like that should be a worry. But it's going okay. We'll get our Ice Pillar on board. Probably going to play a Hearthblood Mender. Maybe we do just go for the blacksmith at this point. It's going to have about the same stats as a Mender.
You dropped something. I dropped everything.
What are we discarding? We're going to lose our pillar. We're going to lose our Trundle. Kind of sucks. I wanted the Trundle. I'm sorry, I wanted the pillar. Alright, so I'm looking at this kind of angle now as to where I'm going to Hearthblood Mender onto the Vi. We'll see what this dude morphs into. Nothing super relevant. We do on a 5-5 or a 4-6. I'm about to follow up with the Trundle Quake, and so let's pick up the Hearthblood Mender just for the stats, or the Earthsign Spirit Walker for the stats. Now I'm looking to, say, Ice Quake, kill off 2 of these units, and then finish off the game with an open attack next turn. Right, so Trundle Quake kills the Sparklefly, kills the Wizard. Opponent says, bust, that's too much. Too much with that Trundle Quake. Alright, back in action. I did some kind of weird button push in OBS and it snapped off the video, but I think we're okay now. Whew. So if we're going to lose it, if we're not going to have top-notch commentary in the lands of Legends of Runeterra, we want to know something that pisses old bust off? I'll tell you. So I went to Home Depot last night. It's in the evening. It's a wonderful time to go because there's not as many people there. And so here we're up against Lulu Zed. This is going to be a very aggressive elusives deck. We may not even want to keep the concurrent timelines here, but I'm gonna hang on to it. It's too powerful in the early game. But if you manage to make it in the evening, there's not too many people there, and it's kind of nice. And so with that in mind, there's maybe 30 cars in the parking lot at max, probably closer to 20. But give me the count of the number of dogs you think that I saw inside of Home Depot. Let me know. I'll stop and wait, give you a moment to think on it. How many dogs do you think I thought? I'll tell you, the answer is 4. Now, these aren't service animals. If you have a service animal, fine. If it's detecting your heart explosions or your seizures or whatever your service animal is trained for, fine, absolutely take it into Home Depot with you. Or if it's a service animal for whatever reason, emotional support, because you have PTSD or whatnot, fine, absolutely have your animal in there. But that's not the case with what was happening. Like, of these dogs, 2 of them were like puppies. They were being carried around in like the little seedy part of the thing, to where if you're going to set like a little kid in a cart or a buggy, like 2 of the dogs were in that. And then the one dog had a harness on it, which, okay, maybe that one was legit. I'll give you a pass on that. The other one had like a fucking choke collar on it that I thought they banned back in the 90s because they were fucking mean. And that's what it was. If you're not familiar with the choke collar, that's where you pull on the leash, it chokes the fucking dog so it quits doing whatever it's doing. Very classy move to use one of those. And so these were the 4 animals that I saw in Home Depot last night. Fucking pisses me off. And so I know when I'm getting on a good kick, when I've done something that feels appropriate, it's when my wife starts to look at me like I'm fucking insane. And so the thing that I started into after that is, how do you get Home Depot to not allow animals in the store, right? And so the thing that you run into in this space is like the people in this channel are old. Like I'm kind of head boomer. Most people in here are in their late 20s at best or early 30s. There's not too many youngsters running around. But even if you are a youngster, you've probably had a job at some point. And the job I had in my youth when I was a youngster, I worked at a grocery store and then I worked at a movie theater. And I'll tell you, in large part, if I showed up to the shift sober, then they were excited. And if you showed up on time and you had the correct amount of money in your drawer at the end of the day, then they were just stoked. Like, you were pretty much employee of the month if that was what you were capable of pulling off. And so, like, I get when the expectation of what's going to happen with a customer service worker. Opponent says we're playing too slow. He's probably got a dog. He's probably upset about it. But the expectations are quite low into what you're actually going to do. And so are you going to realistically expect that person to go up to like Trump supporter Karen and say, hey, where's the papers for your dog? They're not going to fucking do that. They know what they're getting into. They're just showing up to the shift, hopefully sober. They have the correct amount of money in the drawer at the end of the day, calling it a day. That's what you're getting out of a Home Depot employee. And so, like, I get that it sucks from that sense. And so you can't really count on the employees to do it. But the thing to where my wife starts to look at me like I'm insane is when I say, well, you just need one of those dogs to kill a kid. And now I don't want any humans to die. I don't want any injuries to realistically happen in the space of getting dogs banned from Home Depot. But that's where you start getting enough attention to the situation to where maybe they won't allow dogs in the future, is if they have a dog that kills a kid or, maims somebody, brings someone bodily harm, and then their insurance company goes, hey, Home Depot, if you want to allow dogs into the building, then you have to pay us millions upon millions of dollars each year in premiums for this fucking lawsuit that we just had to pay off because you let Trump supporter Karen's dog come in and bite some little kid. Like, that's what you need. That's what I say to get the things going. Again, the wife looks at me like I'm insane when I suggest perhaps a dog killing a kid is a good course of action, but maybe not kill a kid, just like bite a senator or something. That'll probably get the job done, right? Some senator at Home Depot over the weekend, they get bit by a dog, they'll ban him. I got at least one person nodding. One person says, "Damn, Bust, you're on point." Everybody else is like, "Fuck, he's not talking about cats." But it's hard to believe I'm wrong. Hard to believe I'm wrong. All right, I've got one more anecdote about dogs, and then we'll move back into some low quality gameplay. The thing I absolutely cannot stand with dogs is they're big for the most part, right? And this is an animal, and so a lot of dogs, 100 pounds plus, right? Very large animal. Is it nice? Sure, I'm sure your dog is a fucking sweetheart, but you don't know that just seeing a dog. And if your dog starts to approach me, I start to get a little antsy because I know the damage dogs can do. I have family members that have gotten maimed by pit bulls. They are fucked up. They spent a lot of time in the hospital due to a pit bull attack. And so you see, a little 100-pound dog walking around, and the amount of control that's attached to the dog is like a 75-pound 10-year-old kid. And so you've got like this 10-year-old kid just like, I'm doing my best to hold onto this leash while I'm holding this fucking killing machine. Oh, I hate that stuff so much. And so that's another spot where I feel bad. If that dog takes off, there's two outcomes, right? Either that kid just gets fucking drugged, right? That kid is getting like literally pulled down the street by a large ass animal that it has no control over, or that dog is about to maim a person, and that kid is going to be traumatized for the rest of their life. And so, carry on, folks. Let your 8 to 10-year-old 75-pound children walk your 100-pound dog. And when you have a bad day at the hospital, you can say, Bust was right. Bust was right on that one. It's tough being so right all the time. It's another saying I love to use. Get the wife looking at you like you're insane. It's tough being so right all the time. All right, I swear, we'll get back to the Runeterra here. The Bang Bros match is gone. The Elusives guy said we were playing too slow. That game was probably a win. Anyways, if you're attacking with a 2-power Gringle duo with no buffs, that game is probably done. So we managed to win that one. Now this Ryze matchup, it's one that I'm kind of interested in. And so as we're looking to perhaps use this Triple Forge lineup in best of 3 this upcoming weekend, one of the things that really chaps my loins is having to ban Ryze. And Ryze is a pretty must-ban kind of situation for the decks that we're looking to bring. Right, the more power that you put into going tall, the stronger that Ryze gets. As we attacked with our board right there, he came in and put the stun on our 5-attack unit. And so if you want to imagine, we have the 1-2 Apprentice, the Favored Artisan, this 4-5 Blacksmith, and then the rest of our abilities, right? We put all of our forges, all of our stats onto this Combat Cook and made it like a 10. And then opponent just has a stun or a recall or something. These are the decks that we don't really want to be running into. The ones that have that really potentially strong, high-powered single target kind of thing. And so I really don't like having to ban Ryze, because the decks that are good against Ryze are fucking good against it, right? There's not a ton of matchups to where Ryze is just a 50-50. It's a 75-25 pretty much across the board. And so I feel like we're going to be taking a lineup that's very susceptible to Ryze, and we're going to have to just ban it. So, is what it is. But with a lot of what we just said in mind, I want to come down on this turn, just spread our damages out, right? And so we aren't taking that value play of putting the forges onto our blacksmith or the forges onto the combat cook. We're putting our forges on these smaller plays. And so if he comes in, he has his one-of fucking copy of Shurima Telstone, sure. But 9 times out of 10, this is the way you want to be approaching it. Looks like we're still going to get the lethal here, but you really want to come in and just neuter those stronger effects that they have. He knows he's dead here. I mean, he's seen the burn spell in hand, but ace him. Oh, are you kidding me? Okay. So much for that. So much for acing him, huh? Alright, well, we got another burn spell in hand and still have a pretty giant board even after the Shurima Tellstones, and so hopefully we're okay.
Man will always fight and always die.
Man will always fight and always die. That's a sad saying there, Ryze. Sad saying. So we'll go for the same stuff here. I want to see if he spends some mana. You can technically Nopify this, get excited, and so if he taps down below 2, we're good to pop off. I'd just love to see that mana spent before we do it. Now, we're probably going to win the game, even if he does have that Nopify for a get excited, but now we don't have to worry about it. We'll just send it right to face. Hopefully there won't be any more health potions, and we can call it a day here. Got that 3-piece nugget right into a 2. We did it. GG. On to the next one. Alright, I'm just going to get one more game in here today. We're about the 40-minute mark. We usually run about an hour. This last one, though, will probably take like 10-20 minutes because that's the way that's the way the Timelines games go. And so if this is a super quick one, then we'll get into number 6, but I'm planning on calling this one a number 5 today. Against Gangplank Sejuani, sure. See what we can do. So, I'm not excited to hang on to cards like Zaunite Urchin, but we kinda have to. And so, we're gonna be trying to do everything we can to slow down the opposing board, keep them from dealing damage to us in the early game. And we need to get the unit on board to do that. Like, I don't want him to play a unit this turn and then open attack next turn, get that damage in, and get the free hit in for his champion level up. And so as we run out the Zaunite Urchin, it can get popped by like a parlay, whatever, but the plays that they want to be making here are basically put down a unit and then open attack next turn. And we try to get the cancel on it that way. Now if he plays something like Mirai Warden, we'll go for the Concurrent Timelines. If he taps out for a unit we can block, then we'll have more of a decision to make. We should be okay to try and block. If he has to make it rain to deal the point of damage this turn, I'm pretty okay with it, but he didn't add any units last turn, and so I think it still feels reasonable. Yep. Now I think I'm ready to drop the timelines. We'll see. We could have looked to have gotten the blacksmith on the board to get some heal in. We haven't taken a ton of damage up to this point, and so might be okay. And then we do have the Mystic Shot in hand, and so if he has a low health unit he's trying to open with next turn, we had the chance to just take it down. Get excited, might just do it.
Hello, new best friend.
Not anymore. Not anymore. That's okay. So we'll add in the Combat Cook. We'll lead off with the Fish-a-Whack here. Just go ahead and pick up the big overwhelming kind of unit. And then, ooh, interesting with the Silverwing Diver. Pretty strong here.
Not even I know what I'm cooking up.
Tough and elusive, ready to do all kinds of work. Coming at him hard with the elusives today with the Sumpworks map coming in as well. Good stuff. Now this is like a little interesting, right? He does have the Pot of Pain, and so he's kind of guaranteed to get his champion damage in every turn. And so there is a little bit of wanton desire to leave that unit on the board so that he has to like do a little bit more work to keep that impact going. I don't think it's really worth chasing after here, but worth noting that Pot of Pain. Now I'm going to keep trying to push the damage in. So I'm going to go for the Sandsworn Amulet. As far as these go, we got another elusive if we want it. It's a pretty decent one as well. Drawing cards. It's not as stat heavy as these other ones, but I think it's okay. Gain our point of health. Get our elusives ready. Point this burn right at the face. Riptide Sermon. Haven't seen that guy in ages. That wasn't on my radar. We could have forged to try and to try and get out of that, but I didn't see that coming. Trundle comes in. We'll just discard him to get excited. Can't play the fleeting Trundle.
Fighting food and cooking evil. Switch those.
I'm doing this.
Man, we should have played the Forge. Now our Vi is small. I guess she'll probably be okay in these combats. Like, I don't really want to be blocking the combat cook with Vi, but all right, we got the chance to play it. Gotta try and prevent some of this damage. I want to keep the Vi around, right? We don't have any units otherwise. Maybe falling to 7. It's kind of scary because you can get one shot by Sejuani, but we do still have Buried in Ice in hand. So maybe we need to keep our units alive. We'll let the combat cook do his thing. We'll let Russ over here keep on cooking. It's like I really like the idea of being able to burst a unit on board for with the parts made hole, but this is a pretty strong Vi, and she has a great hook into this Adaptron. So, oh my god, these things are fucking everywhere. Okay. Riptide sermons left and right.
Hit 'em where it freeze.
We'll have 8 mana next turn. So if we only bank 1, we could still go ahead and parts made whole this turn. Get in an extra point of damage with Vi. Okay. I'm convinced.
Head it in. Eat this.
I'm convinced, I tell you.
Ye started without me.
Seems okay. Like, if opponent open attacks next turn and we get to play Hearthblood Mender, we're in pretty tip-top shape. And then if they don't open attack and we get to Buried in Ice, we're in even better shape. And so I think this is fine. There shouldn't. I mean, we've been really getting worked over by these Riptide Sermons, but there shouldn't be any way for him to deal that extra burn damage to us if we have to take 4 on that combat. He would need, like, Warning Shot and Make It Rain or something, and so that feels pretty okay. We'll bury off Sejuani now. Hopefully be getting that win. Oop. Comes the squad. Don't want to give him a chance to play another Sejuani there. Alrighty, GG. Not a bad set of games. And so we could pull this up, talk about it a little bit more. You know, I was pretty happy with how this played out. The numbers feel pretty good. We were getting a lot closer to burn kills than I was really anticipating, and so I might want to consider maybe kicking in one more Get Excited or something, but I think the Sumpworks map does a lot of the same work that we're really looking for that, but it allows for much higher impact plays. And so if you want to even just think to that last game, we were getting a lot of power out of Vi because of the overwhelms, but if we want to envision that Vi just had a combat reel attached to her and she doesn't get to do the overwhelms, having the Sumpworks map come in and be able to blast through for all that damage is pretty big and exciting. And so I think this leaves us in a pretty good space, right? I think it's an interesting mindset to be in the sense that whenever we play Concurrent Timelines, you tend to be really on edge in terms of trying to dig it up. And so you are playing the like Station Archivists and the Predict cards and everything just to try and make it a little bit easier to find. But the thing that I've always been interested in with Trundle is that, you know, as long as it's by like turn 8, you know, it's not ideal to have the timeline show up on turn 8. But if you're able to say like turn 1 Ice Pillar, maybe 2 Ice Pillars, then you typically get exceptional amounts of value out of it, and you're pretty happy with how it turned out at the end of the day. And so if we're wanting to say to ourselves, okay, I'm a Forge deck, right? I'm a Forge deck. I have the Forge package with the Apprentice and the Favorite Artisan and the Hearthblood Menders. We have the good improvised units that you get out of all of the other Jax-based decks. And then as kind of a side bonus, we're playing Concurrent Timelines, right? We might occasionally just say, okay, all of our improvised units get +2/+2 for the rest of the game. That's a kind of interesting space to be in, especially as we've seen decks like Jax Vi actually shoot up and be exceptionally powerful. I think this is a pretty interesting space, and I'm actually quite interested in running this in the upcoming Open. And so, very interesting, very powerful, good stuff here. I think this has a lot of potential. And so, good stuff. I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. And so, hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way, and you had a good time watching. So, this is Bust, and we thank you for being here.